Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Ascalise, the inventress. My business is Inventing A to Z. At Inventing A to Z, I work with clients to take their products from concept to fruition, from a napkin idea all the way to the marketplace and everything in between, the right way. If you want to contact me, email me, lisa@inventingatoz.com. My website, inventingatoz.com. But I'm going to start by saying, hello, Andrew, and welcome to the Inventress podcast. You know, I have a lot to share about you. So I'm going to give everybody a mouthful first because I have to brag about you. So Andrew, you are Chief Financial Officer, you're author, you're a speaker, you're an entrepreneur, you're an investor, you're an MIT engineer, you're a Navy officer. You are so much and more. I couldn't fit it all on my piece of paper here. But I want to thank you for being on our show.
Great, Lisa. Thank you for having me. It's great to have a chance to meet you and chat about you. I've read a lot of great things.
Thank you. And you as well. You as well. And I definitely need your help. We need your help as entrepreneurs. You have so much financial information. You have information that you have. You know what I love about your business? You have a pie. You have a pie in your business. And I love pies because it explains the different facets. But let's talk about your business first. And you have many different titles. You're running your business like a pro. That's one, right? The other one is, what's the university? I think that's a newer one.
So Small Business Pro University.
Yes.
Which is what we recently launched.
Love it. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And running your small business like a pro, actually, that's the title of my book, as well as my business, Small Business Like a Pro. So
I mean, I'm going to, there's so many things. There's so many questions I have for you. You know, you talk about how, you know, entrepreneurs get into business and they can fall out of business as easily and as quickly as they get in, right?
Yes.
The biggest thing is sustaining your business, running it, building it, and sustaining. What advice can you give small business entrepreneurs just starting out? Let's just say they just started their LLC and they wanted to open up a grocery store.
Well, of course, the first thing they already know is that failing to plan is planning to fail. So, you know, even though it can seem arduous to do your business plan, it saves you money and it helps you be more successful. So it's worth the effort. And the other thing is you can only take your business as far as you're prepared to take it. So that's the reason why I focus on educating business owners so they can be better business people, because your business will continually change as you move through different steps. But if you don't continue to change, you're not going to be able to lead it forward into new ground and grow.
So you have to change with your business growth and you have to learn through what that is, because who knows what the next step is, right? Because I'm sorry, a business plan only provides you so much, right? So you're giving the business plan to somebody else in order for them to trust you and give you money.
Well, actually, the business plan is for you. It doesn't matter. It's so you know what you're going to do. And so you did your homework to make sure what you are going to do makes sense, will work, and you understand how to do it effectively.
So how do you build a business plan? What is a basic business plan model? How do we start that?
Well, at the end of the day, when you're starting your business and for the first part of your business, it's about marketing. You have to develop your product. You have to figure out what the right target market is. Who's going to value what you're bringing to market the most? What need, want, or desire do you satisfy? And really, how do you make that connection so that you can do business with people? And it takes different efforts and some trial and error, but there's a lot of things you can do in terms of research. I'm sure you do a lot of that with your product development and understanding, whose product and who can benefit from the product.
Right. So you need to really, so when you have a business plan, you feel like you need to have a tangible business first. So you have to have a business first, correct? Business first, and then you have to think about marketing your business, right? And that's what goes on. That's what goes into a business plan. Is that correct? Understanding businesses first.
Well, actually, you do your plan first. But then when you do your plan, the first part and the most important part is the marketing. Because if you don't sell anything, you're not really in business.
Right.
And then, from there, you have operational plan, how you're going to deliver on what you sold. And you have your financial plan to make sure that the numbers add up so that when you accomplish your plan, you get the result that you want. But it all starts with being able to market and sell a product. So until you get that right, a lot of the other stuff doesn't really matter that much.
So you're putting together a business plan for a product that hasn't really sold. So in my head, you're putting together a business plan. All right, so it's an iPhone. So in my head, or I have a drawing of an iPhone that I want to sell. So this iPhone has not been sold yet. It's just an idea. It's a prototype for me, right? So I'm putting together projections, right? I mean, you talk about marketing. Suppose I haven't marketed or sold it yet. How do I come up with a business plan for a product that I have not sold? Is this where projections come in?
So actually the first thing you do is, okay, you have a product that you developed.
Right.
Okay. So now who's it for? Who wants it? Who needs it and desires it? So you got to do some research, some testing, figure out who do you think needs it? What will they be willing to pay for it? Because you have to price it also. So you have to think through what your pricing looks like. You have to have a plan of how you're going to communicate that you have it, that it's available to the right people in terms of your message, what the value proposition is, and then, how to reach them. Is it through social media? Is it through TV? Marketing encompasses so many things, but it's about developing a strategy and a plan that you can implement to take the right product at the right price to the right person so that they're willing to buy it.
So this is research. So you really have to do your research and your due diligence prior to even getting your product on the market.
Yes.
How many people need this phone? What are the demographics, right? Age demographics, and all of those things.
Yes.
Now, I like where you said implement and track, assess and envision, analyze and recover. Explain what that means to us, please.
Okay, it's really a planning process. Whenever you're going to do stuff, the first thing is you assess. So you figure out, where am I? Where am I currently? And realistically. So sometimes you need help externally so that you have a objective assessment. The second piece is you have to envision. So you envision where you're going. So you figure out where you are, and this is where I want to go. And then you take those two things and you analyze to figure out a lot of information to figure out what's the best way to go there.
I love that. That's why I said I love the pie, because
right.
you're breaking it up, and you're compartmentalizing these things instead of getting completely overwhelmed with everything at the same time.
Right. And actually the next step is recommendations. So, you know where you're supposed to go and how to go there, but you can't do everything at once. So you got to come up with the 3 things that you're going to focus on. Because usually we can't do more than 3 things at a time.
Women can.
Well, okay. We'll say some women can.
I'm only kidding. Otherwise, we can get scattered. Believe it or not, we can get scattered too. Hard to believe, but it's true.
Well, I've been married 30 years, so I have so much.
Never get scattered or frazzled. Never.
It keeps me from getting scattered. So
exactly.
So yeah, so you do that. You got to implement it, because plans are great, but doesn't matter if you can't implement it. So, And then you got to measure your performance, because just because you have a plan and you're implementing it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So you have to figure out, is it happening? Do I need to adjust my plan? Making course corrections throughout the process. And
I like that.
And it's an iterative process. You continue to do that in different ways. And you look up and you will have moved your business forward significantly.
I love that you're saying that. And the entrepreneurs out there who are listening really need to take that in, because some people, I think, get very stuck. This is the way I'm supposed to do it. And I'm staying here. I'm not making any money, but this is the way I planned it. And so what you're saying is, move around, analyze it, take a look at, if it's not moving, you gotta pivot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make other moves. They don't have to be drastic moves, but I like what you're saying. Make corrections is what you're saying. Make corrections. Yep. where you see see it faltering. Now, one of your books, and everybody needs to purchase this, is Small Business University, of course, that's a book, right? And Running Your Business Like a Pro, must have.
Yes. It took me 5 years to write it. And really, having worked with over 1,000 business owners one-on-one and taught thousands of people about business, I really combine that into the key things that you need to know as a business owner. Mm-hmm. So just to give an example, the first chapter is called How Did I Get Here? Mm-hmm. Second, it's called What's My Most Important Job as a Business Owner? And, how will I get the money? So really just talking
about how do I get the money? Everybody wants to know.
Yes.
So how did I get here? What was the second thing?
How did I get here? What's my most important job? Next one's, what is your greatest fear, which is numbers. Yeah. How will I get the money? Is it me or are my employees crazy?
It's that for sure.
And can I get my old job back? And then how will I ever retire? So, really touching on all the key things that you should really consider and think about as a business owner.
And can you answer all of these? Do you answer all of these questions in this book?
I have the answers to all those questions, and the real answers. No sugarcoating, and no trying to sell you anything. It's just
love it.
So
I'm with you on that. I don't sugarcoat anything, and everybody listening knows that's how I roll.
Right.
So how did you get there? How did you get to where you are?
Well, everybody has a journey, and I started in 4th grade as a paperboy. My brother and I, 7 days a week for 5 years.
Nice.
And lived in Pittsburgh. So we were able to expand it also into a snow shoveling business because we knew everybody.
You're a born entrepreneur. I hear it already.
Business in college, but studied engineering undergrad. Had an opportunity because I like solving problems, and that's what engineering is all about. But went through ROTC, served in the Navy as a supply corps officer. So I ran all the business functions for a ship, which was pretty cool. Oh, nice. And realize that, business is all about solving problems too, except for, there's more problems and you get to see the answer and it's more dynamic. So I really liked that and continued my work experience, got an MBA and, was an executive. So then I took everything I learned and really brought that to bear for small business owners and helping them to be more successful at what they do.
That's very, very awesome. Paperboy, from paperboy to turning into a shoveling business. Well, you had the client base, right?
Right.
You're already delivering papers. Hold on to those relationships, right?
The relationships are everything. Relationships and good relationships.
Good relationships.
When I go home, my mom still runs into some of my old customers, and they were like, they were the best paper boys we ever had, because we used to put the paper in the door for everyone instead of just throwing them wherever. So
you didn't swing it and break windows and screen doors.
Right. So reputation is everything.
It certainly is. Your parents, your whoever raised you did a phenomenal job. And people like myself do completely appreciate you. And
Okay.
the fact that you're even willing to share your knowledge and your information, I love. You know, everybody doesn't understand what, small business or how to implement it. And many people are afraid to ask. So those of you out there listening, please reach out to Andrew, purchase his book. Because it's, I mean, from what I read, I feel like I've taken a step, I've pivoted some things since reading a portion of your book. I really have. I've
Okay.
made some changes since I started reading.
Excellent. That's what it's for.
Yeah, no, very, very helpful. And how to get money. So how, I was skipping to,
Right.
yeah, you don't have a business yet, but we want money.
Okay. Well,
And I have a lot of entrepreneurs who come to me and say, well, I'm starting a business. How do I get money?
the hard truth is most entrepreneurs and people who want to start business don't deserve money because they're not ready. So what I created, I've gotten people millions of dollars in financing, but there's a process.
Hmm.
And I call that pray for financing.
Uh-huh.
So, doesn't hurt to get on your knees and pray, but also P is for preparing. So you got to prepare yourself and your business.
Hmm.
Or you got to do research, figure out the right places to apply based on your needs and your situation. Um, then you got to assemble. There's a lot of documents
Hmm.
and things you have to submit. Um, and a lot of loans never get approved just because they never submitted everything. And then finally, you got to yield. Um, once you submit everything, you don't have any control over the process. So
Mm.
it could take 2 days, it could take 3 months, but
Hmm.
you have to roll with them. You can't try and take it over. It's like if you've gotten a mortgage,
Hmm.
it's terrible up until the time you get it.
Yeah,
But that's just how it is. So
I like that. I like the yield part because most people don't know how to do that. They just don't know how. Even in my business, I mean, for me, I'm continuously manufacturing products for my clients, and it's always the when and how fast. How fast is it here yet? Can't you call the factory? Can't you call the manufacturer? No, and neither can you. Call the
right.
boat. Can't you call the boat and find out how long it's going to be on the water from China to, Staten Island?
Right, right. So, there's things you can control and things you can't, and you just
Yes.
got to understand that.
No, you talked about the P for preparation. How about passion? What do you feel about passion, Andrew?
I mean, passion is great because, as a business owner, you're going to generally work harder and longer hours for less money.
Hmm.
So, if you don't have any passion, that's kind of a tough pill to swallow. um, but, passion's important, but passion's not enough
Hmm.
if you don't know what you're doing. And so, the key thing, and that's why what I focus is on helping people run their business more professionally,
Hmm.
because there's a way to do stuff. There's an easy way to do stuff and a hard way to do stuff.
Hmm.
And there's really two ways to learn in business. You either take the time and effort to learn it and plan, or you lose money.
That's right.
And which one would you prefer?
Agreed. Take the time, pay attention, listen. Take those steps. Take all of the steps necessary to get to that next place.
Yes.
A lot of people try to rush through the path. They rush through the journey and they missed so much. We talked about that last week on Motivational Monday. You can't rush through it. If you love something enough, learn about it. If you want to do it, learn, take the steps and learn about it. How important is good credit?
Well, if you're going to get financing, it's critical,
Hmm.
because as a small business, until you get up to like the 10-20 million dollar level, they're
Hmm.
looking at you personally, first and foremost. Many times even before your business, but
Hmm.
definitely in conjunction with your business. So um, a lot of times I recommend for people, if their credit's not together, get it together
Hmm.
before you take the plunge, and do everything you can to keep it intact. So yeah, like you said, it's very important, and so many business owners mess their credit up,
Yeah.
and then you can't grow your business.
So you got to be tight personally in order to get yourself together business wise. Get your
Yes.
credit straight personally, right? Because that's what's going to help you in business. The other question I wanted to ask you was how important, a DBA or a checking account when you don't have a business yet, or you've applied for an LLC, right?
hmm
How important is it to get your a checking account started?
You definitely want
Checking account.
always to have a separate account for everything business wise that you're doing.
Mhm.
You know, even if you haven't set up your business yet, you could set up a personal account that you only use for business. And same with your credit cards. You have to keep that separate. So, so it's okay to use sometimes you can get no fees on a personal account rather than a business account, but you can use that for your business. But at the end of the day, once you're up and running, you want to get a business account and you want to do everything out of there. No cash, as you know, you don't want to buy stuff in cash if at all possible. And you want to run everything through it. I'm seeing so many people now trying to get access to the PPP and the other fundings, and they don't have good records.
Right.
They don't report all their income, and as a result, they either get a lot less money than they could have or don't get any at all. And that's a shame because a lot of them are women and minority-owned businesses.
Yeah, yeah. So it's important to have good accounting.
Yes.
Now, how can people work with you? What is it that you can help small business owners with, or
Okay.
or large? I know that you work with a lot of large corporations also.
So really, at the end of the day, I'm really focused on small business owners,
Mhm,
5 million in revenues and below,
mhm.
and helping them to really move their business forward. So I have my book, Running Your Small Business Like a Pro, which is also an ebook and on Audible. So that's a good first step.
Mhm.
I created the Small Business Pro University exactly for that. So it's an online learning platform where we actually have virtual activities as well.
Oh,
Uh,
that's great.
and we have a Masterpreneur Club, which is a low cost way to get access to learning, build connections, and grow. You can try it out for $7, and then it's $50 a month. So
How do we get access to that? How do we get in touch with you? How do the listeners get in touch with you?
you can go to, well, of course, I'm on LinkedIn,
Mhm,
but you can also go to SBPro,
mhm.
the letter U.com. So SBPROU.com. And that'll take you to where you can see more and better understand it. But that's a great platform because that's a way what I've learned can get out to a lot more business owners in an effective way and in an affordable way. Because a lot of times you don't have a lot of extra money, and
Especially today.
yeah, today, and one of my things is to be successful in business. A lot of times you got to be cheap or real. So I have to follow that as well and make that available, because that's what you every dollar is an investment. So you got to make sure that you're getting a return on it.
So, do you journal, or do you suggest journaling the money that you spend?
Um, yes, but you can do that through your account. That's why you want to have every transaction go through your account. And then you generally want to have an accounting system
Mhm.
like a QuickBooks or a FreshBooks. Once you have a fair amount of transactions, early on you could just do it in a spreadsheet or a notebook, and that's fine.
Right.
Once it gets unwieldy, then you want to do that. But as long as everything's in your bank, goes through your bank account, you're good.
You said wieldy? What's that?
Unwieldy. So if it's like too much, like like if there's a few things that you got to enter in your notebook, that's cool. But if there's like 1,000 things a month you got to enter, then you want to have a better way.
See, I'd rather not use a notebook because this way I can cheat. So, because if I'm not entering in notebook, I just use the card and I don't have to look at the statement for a month, right? So,
Right.
I actually tried journaling.
Mhm.
I said, I'm going to journal because I mean, prior to COVID, I realized how much money I was actually spending,
Yes.
unnecessary dollars.
Yes.
Staying in, I started thinking, wow, I haven't been to Christmas tree shop in about 9 months. I have to look at how much I was actually spending at Christmas tree shop. And then I started thinking, geez, I could have gotten a car. I could have gotten a brand new car.
Right.
All my Christmas tree receipts.
Okay.
Christmas tree shop receipts, or I mean, really, all of the shopping I used to do, I've really curbed my spending, just unnecessary spending. So
Right.
I'm with you on that.
Right. And that's a great example. Like, when I talked about measure, when you have the numbers and you look at them, you can measure how you're doing.
Right.
And
Exactly.
really understand what's actually happening. Whereas without numbers, you can't.
Exactly.
So.
Now, you're awesome. You're awesome. And you have been a wealth of knowledge and information. And I want for our viewers to reach out to you, get your book and get your books, several of your books, and get the knowledge that you need, because knowledge is power. We all know that.
Yes.
And I just have to say, I really appreciate you coming on. But before you jump off, we got to have some fun.
All
This
right.
is fun. This is great fun. So what's the song that motivates and inspires you, Andrew? I'm throwing you a curveball.
Well, I'm a big fan of old school hip hop.
Oh, love it.
I like Fresh Prince "Summertime."
I love it. Okay, good, good.
It's upbeat, but it's not too crazy, and it has a little bit of an older feel and a melody as well. So,
see, I'm assuming that you're finance, you're more mellow, jazz, laid back.
Well, I have an interesting side too.
All right. So show me your happy dance. Do you have a happy dance? What happens when
not really much of a happy dance?
Happy dance?
Huh?
What's your happy dance? I mean, when all of your numbers align, and your bank statements match up just the way you want them to, what do? What's your happy dance?
I don't know. I used to grew up during waving, so.
Oh yeah, all right. There you go.
Know a little bit of that.
I love it. I love it. The Fresh Prince and the Wave. Love it. So. Well, listen, it's been amazing having you on the show. And I want to have you back on again. Actually, I want to have you at one of our conferences, because we're always looking for your type of brain to help entrepreneurs get straight, get tight, do your business plan, save your money, stop spending on those credit cards unnecessarily.
Okay. Well, definitely. It's been great getting to know you, being on the show. I appreciate the opportunity and definitely welcome the opportunity to collaborate even further.
Thank you. Thank you. I so appreciate you, Andrew. Love to have you back. That was amazing. Andrew blew my mind. Let me tell you something. Everything he talked about today, I started taking notes. I was writing everything down because it's everything I need in my business. And I know all of you entrepreneurs out there and inventors need this information. You talk about financing and how to be organized and analyze and business plans, etc. We all need that. So please make sure you check Andrew out. He's got everything you need. And we have all of that information right here for you. But please definitely watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on all of the major podcast platforms. Rate, review, subscribe, and share 100%. And, I want to say, if you have a product, an idea, or an invention, contact me. My website is inventingatoz.com. That's inventingatoz.com. Email me, info@inventingatoz.com. Until next time, please continue to lift each other up 2 hands at a time. And sometimes you got to use that foot. Until next time,